So let's move on to a next section of your book. You talk about delegation. So as managers and business leaders, we really struggle at times to delegate effectively. So, we can often fall in a couple ditches. We can either be the person that micromanages everything, or we don't delegate effectively in that we just give stuff to people, but we don't verify, we don't follow up, we don't ensure that they know what's expected of them. And I think business owners and really any manager that wants to be an effective leader, they struggle with this. Most of us struggle with not being able to let go effectively. Michael Gerber talks about that in his book, The E-Myth, as one of the main reasons that business owners fail to grow is that they can't let the business or the organization grow past their ability to keep their arms around everything. And so talk about your struggle early on. Your own blood, sweat, and tears went into this thing, and as you guys started to grow, it started to stretch you. Talk about your maybe unwillingness to delegate early on, and then what that process looked like as you started to let go.
Your business is your baby, and you want everyone to have this experience that you envision. Maybe it's the customer experience, the employee experience. And for me, I literally wore every hat. I didn't have help. And when I graduated, I was the only non-student in my company. Now today we hire people who are not students, but at the time, everyone in my company was a student. So they didn't even have the schedule or the availability to help me in the office. And it was exhausting, running the business, working in it, not working on it. It was still growing, but it was just very hard to keep up. And I knew it could be growing so much more, but I wasn't sure how do I reposition myself so that I can focus on that growth. And what was taking up the most time at that point in my journey, questions from my employees. I mean, all day my phone would ring, and I'd be thinking, how could you be asking me these questions? The answers are so obvious to me. And one example is, I remember there was a student who mistakenly left their cleaning partner at a job site. And I don't even know how that happens, but he said, should I turn around and go pick her up? And I'm like, are you kidding me? Yes. How else do you think she's going to get back to the office? How is this a question that you think you have to ask me? But what I didn't realize is that I had set up this environment by being so controlling and telling everyone what to do and not giving them the freedom to think independently, that they felt they had to run every single decision by me. So eventually I was able to hire 2 people to help me in the office. And I thought that would be the solution. And what ended up happening is the students would call them and then they would call me. And so it wasn't saving any time.
Anytime you're in a management position that you think, and it's the temptation is specifically there with cleaners and people that maybe we think don't have, a certain skill set or an intellectual ability or whatever, we don't give them enough credit. We don't see them as smart as us. Oftentimes it's a temptation that we have. And so we think that we have to tell them what to do, when in fact, they want that same ability to feel empowered, and they're capable of using that empowerment to do good. And we cripple ourselves in our organizations by not trusting our people and empowering them to make decisions, all the way down to the person cleaning the toilet for one of our customers. So you talk about this transition that you had towards, the light bulb kind of went off. You see, okay, I need to begin empowering my people, stop being a micromanager. And you say on page 59, you say, when we make people feel confident in themselves and their decisions at work, they don't want to go anywhere else. And I agree with that. People want to be places where they can use their skill sets. They want to feel like they've used their God-given ability and they've accomplished something, and they're not a slave or a servant on a job site, right, being told everything to do. So talk about the story of Monique. I love this story of how maybe this is a practical way that you saw this flesh out with somebody that was just an in cleaner on the job. Talk a little bit about that story.
Yeah. So after Shepherd's Pie, I started slow. I stopped answering my phone on the first ring, the second ring. I would let it go to voicemail, and then I would wait to call people back. And what happened is, by the time I called them back, they figured it out. And then when people would come to me and they would have a challenge, my initial reaction would be to solve it for them. But now what I would do is I'd say, give me 2 ideas, give me 2 solutions. And if they didn't have one, I'd say, go and think about them and come back when you have one. And unless one of those ideas would kill someone, I would say, Either one sounds good. You do what you think's best, because I learned that if you choose the winning solution, it's your win. It's not their win. They don't get to feel proud about that. And so with time, I'm getting more comfortable letting go. And there was this one day during our really busy summer season. I'm at an apartment complex. There are 80 people in the lobby waiting on assignments from me on where to go for their apartments. And normally the apartments are all unlocked, but on this particular day, the property manager did not have a chance to unlock them. So she comes over to me and she hands me this key ring, and there are 80, 100 keys, something like that, on this key ring. And she says, unfortunately, all the apartments have to be unlocked, and if you lose this key ring, it's something like $50 per key. And this is still very early in the business, so I know I can't make all these people wait on me while I unlock every single door. So I just turned to the person closest to me, who happened to be a student named Monique. It was like her second day on the job. I didn't know her, but I looked to her and I said, "Can you help me?" And I handed her the key ring. And I don't even remember this. But I'll tell you why this story mattered to her. So I handed her the key ring, and she says, "Me?" And I said, "Yeah, you. Did you hear what she said about the $50?" She said, "Yeah." She unlocked all the doors. She brought the keys back. Everything was great. Well, Monique is still with our company. She's on the executive team, and she's been with us for 8 years. And the thing is, she went to school to be an interior designer, and she's incredibly gifted in design. And during her journey with us, she had an opportunity to go to Dallas for an internship. And when she was in this internship in her field, the things she wanted to do with her whole life, she realized that the company didn't trust her. They didn't even allow her to do any design work. She was filing papers and making coffee and doing typical intern things. And she realized Student Made trusted her, and we believed in her before she even proved herself, because I hand her these keys and I don't even really know her, and I trusted her. So that's when she made this decision, unbeknownst to me, that she wanted to stay with forever, and she's still here. And when I ask her, "Why do you like it here? Why did you choose Student Made over that?" She says, "It all started with the day that you handed me the keys, and the message you sent me was, I believe in you." So it doesn't take a huge grand moment to make someone feel that. I just handed her a key ring. So think about, how can you teach the people around you that you believe in them and you trust them?